able to afford to buy a harvester when fall comes. Don't fall this way. No, no. See, now that's fallen on the edge of the map. Ugh. I'm probably going to have to manhandle that with the tractor now. Okay, that one's better. Oh, and I did manage to pick up the freebie Steam copy of Age of Wonders 3. So I've been playing that over the weekend as well. That's still a problem here. But, okay, that's all I missed her. Drive very fast, drive very fast. No. It's still falling over into the edge of the map. Okay. Do to this what I really usually don't want to do with trees. That is catch it in the middle. Oh, and I missed it completely. Oh, great fun. Let's try that again, guys. Okay. Oh, I grabbed the, I've caught the tree, but I also hit the stump. Okay, go, go, go. How's that look? That looks rather significantly better. That does look a bit high up here. I'm fine with that for now. Let's find the bit on this trunk that didn't drop off. That looks like all of it. Okay. Reset the measure. Oops. Jump. Everything's fair in tree felling. 24, around about 32, so around about there. Oh, and we still get the end bit. Nice. Okay, reset the measure. This is a job that Mrs. Osa doesn't like. She does like baling, though. For some reason with the round baler. And most people hate the round baler. Okay, that bit fell off, so we will pick that up and run it to the thing. Oh. Let's try that again. Let's try not to multitask and turn the tape measure off at the same time you're running with a tree. There we go. Easy. And we'll grab the other javelin and then we'll do the picking up the logs thing. Come on. Let's grab it from the other end. There we go. Yes and no. I mean, with the new, with the Anderson DLC, round bales are actually easier to handle because you have that huge 24 bale, what's it, collection trailer. And the best you can do with square bales on those mechanical trailers is 16. So you can move more bales. So yes, I tend to end up with it trapped like that. If you tip it right back and kind of open the forks and then close them, you can grab the tree. That really looks a bit shifty, that one. We've grabbed it, so we'll get to the sell point as quick as we can. Oh yes, yes, square bales are easier to handle in real life. Well, plus they're easier to, you know, obviously the equipment's more expensive, but you know, you can just drive onto the field and then churn them out like crazy. But a lot of small farms don't have access to square balers. I mean, there was a big cattle farm in Ohio that we drove past on our last visit out there, and they had, oh good grief, probably about half a dozen rows of covered silage and a good dozen, 2 dozen I think, rows of wrapped square bales. I mean, they were seriously into silage production. And that's the first time I've seen any farm using a square bale and wrap. I didn't see them making it. I just saw. I mean, it was rows and rows of the stuff. But most farms I've seen making silage are making it with a small round baler and a what is it? This come on, one of these, little one of those. And they were using, I can't remember if I loaded it or not. No, it's a 3-point pickup. I don't think I've got it loaded on this playthrough. That's a multi-fork thing. It was a fork that had that attaches to the 3-point hitch. So they had those attached to 2 small tractors, and they were driving out into the field and then stabbing the bales on the back of the tractor, and then lift the hitch up and haul the bales back to the yard where their little wrapper was waiting. Grab, rotate, yes. Yeah, it kind of depends how many bales you're producing. There's a vlogger I watch, has a farm, I think North Carolina, and yeah, they're producing sort of 6 bales per field with about 3 or 4 fields of bales. So bringing in a contract crew probably isn't worth their while. The farmer local to where we live has a very old class round baler, which he bales up one of the local grass fields with. Come on, let's try not to lift the front wheels too far off the ground. There we go. And we grab that one. Yes. But if you have, obviously the larger the fields, the more you either need to have your own equipment or contract out the job. And sometimes contracting out can be financially better than buying your own equipment to do it yourself. It's like when I'm just starting out on Farm Sim playing seasons, I tend not to have... at the moment this is the only motorised piece of equipment I have on the farm, but we're still in the first year of operation. But even on Lawfolds, which was a big farm, I didn't own a combine harvester until potentially fall of the second year, possibly even the third year, because I could not justify, with the amount of money I had on hand, having a harvester sat in a shed for over 3/4 of the year. It was out for 2 days, and it was far more worth my while to lease it than it was to buy it. Now, at least after the second year, I'm making on Lawfolds about £500,000 a year on crop sales, and 2 years in, and a harvester is no longer a luxury I can't afford. It's a necessity I kind of need, and I'm still being able to afford to buy the field in spite of the fact of how I didn't open the forks, did I? In spite of how expensive the fields on that map are. There we go. Oats, corn and soybeans. Yeah, that's kind of significant. I think as far as seasons goes right now, they have fixed the grass rot, which was a problem. Grass doesn't rot until midnight of the first day, until after midnight of the first day you cut it. So there's enough time to mow the grass today, leave it until tomorrow morning, and go out and bale it the next day. Especially if you're trying to make hay. So the grass doesn't rot for over the first midnight. From what I understand, grass rots daily at midnight after that first freebie. With things like hay and straw, they don't rot at all unless you leave them out in a field to get rain on. Now, if your map isn't seasons prepared, which this one isn't yet, the hay or straw will only rot if it's loose, and it will rot if it's loose in a stored under cover or out in the field. If it's a bale, it will not rot no matter where you put it. Now, a properly prepared map, which has what's known as a snow mask, if you put bales in under cover, they never rot. And if you put loose under cover, technically it shouldn't rot either. But if you leave your bales or loose out in the fields, then it will rot when it rains. Now, one of the nice things about that is if you don't pick up all your straw because you don't have enough to make a full bale, you don't end up with little dots of hay and straw, hay or straw on a field. 2 years after you last harvested it, which kind of bugs me at times. Or you end up with grass or hay on a farm path because you didn't pick that bit up. It all disappears eventually with seasons, which is kind of nice. But the big issue was when Seasons was released, if you cut grass it wouldn't rot. But as soon as you baled it, it immediately started rotting. And I'm talking within minutes. And so if you wanted to create silage bales, either you had to... I'm going to get out and walk for this bit. Either you had to use the Kuhn bale wrapper, so you made the bale and it was immediately fed into the wrapper, or you had to have follow me immediately behind the baler, so that you had a second tractor with a wrapper that would wrap the bale before it had a chance to start rotting. Now, as far as I understand, they have patched that so that grass bales don't rot until after your first free midnight. And that's a big thing, because that was also in 17. Large annoyance at Lawfolds was I had to use the follow me grass cut and train, because otherwise my bales would end up as sort of 3,800 litres of product instead of 4, because the bales rotted before I got to them. So them letting the grass delay before it starts rotting is a good thing in 19. Plus, because of the way they changed it, so that you have, if you cut wet grass, you have to ted it. If you cut dry grass, you just have to leave it for 6-8 hours, whatever, depending on the drying conditions. You don't want your grass rotting immediately. I'm stuck on that bleeding forks. Okay, 40, yeah, okay. We'll grab, we'll turn that off first, then we'll grab the... Maybe we have to get off it first. No. I mean, obviously, if you're playing on a console, Seasons isn't available yet, because all us PC people are being beta testers for all the errors, so that they can finish off the code as best as they can make it bug-free, and Giants only has to patch the game once in order to enable Seasons for consoles. But I like playing with Seasons. Seasons is a very good addition. Kind of makes your jobs a little more structured. Playing base game, you tend to be looking at I need to harvest this field as fast as I can, plough it and get some more seed into it to make my income turn over as quickly as I can. With Seasons, at this time of year, there's no way for me to make my money aside from chopping trees down. My fields aren't going to produce me any money until fall. And there we go. Don't run away. You stay there. Thank you. So, chopping down trees is a good way to make some money in the intervening time. And as I said, I chopped down over 500 trees on Lawfolds, although I've kind of given up that pastime for a while. But once you've got the, obviously the end of your first year, you've probably bought most of your equipment at that point. But you're never into, I won't say never, but you're rarely ever in too much of a rush to get stuff done. As soon as that crop starts ripening, I've got the entirety of fall to get it done. Now I might have some issues with weather, which means I need to harvest when it's dry and sort of sit around and wait for the rain to go away, which can be a problem. But springtime, I'm playing 6-day seasons, so I've got 2 early spring, 2 mid spring, 2 late spring opportunities to plough fields, plant fields. So I'm not in a great rush to turn over the field so I can get stuff in the ground. Consequently, I'm playing this playthrough at ×5. So each day is 2.5 hours of stream. So if I stream for about 2.5 hours, that's a day. And that works out nicely for for playtime. We get 1 day per stream, and even then I think it took me 2 days to plough all the fields, and I used a regular what is it, that type of plough, and a very small one at that. It might have been that one. 65, might have been that one. My tractor can cope with that one, but not very big, 2.5 meters, so it took me a long time to plough even the small fields on this map. I had to lime all the fields, and I did take time out to do that. Then we seeded all the fields, and I only have I think I might have had a 4-meter seeder. But it was taking sort of 2 days at a time to do each job for for the 7 small fields I have. Fertilizing is quicker because obviously the sprays and the spreaders have greater working widths. But I was never in, oh, I've got to get all this done now mode, which playing normal you tend to be, because the faster I can turn this field over, the quicker I can be making money. But it's not something that's happening here. Yeah, we're not, oh, if I get all this done, I can make some money. It's sort of, if I can get all this done, it gets done. But I've still got to wait until full before I can make money. Okay, so you'll have an opportunity to play with seasons. Okay, let's tad and we'll jump out. What is the time now? It's 4 o'clock. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's... Oh, let's do this one. It's closest to the front. That's one, and maybe that one too. Don't know how close to the edge of the amount of land we bought here is. And that one didn't fall over. That's not so good. Okay. Okay, got that one. Six, 7, 8-ish. Whoops. Yeah, that's 8-ish. So we'll do 2 more trees and then we'll call it a day for tree felling. Okay, we'll grab the javelin and take that up. Come on. There we go. And we'll need to grab the tractor and knock the other tree over. Carefully. Oh, that's usually a bad thing. We were supposed to get a really bad storm tonight and it didn't show up, so thankful for that. Got very, very windy, but no tornadoes or the likes. Okay, which... okay, that's the chopped down logs, so potentially this tree right in front of us is the one I chopped. Probably do this with the fork, but timber. Okay. So it's now right over. We'll jump